Okay, this is the test corrections from the last test. First problem says a small plane makes a complete circle with the radius of 382. You immediately know that r equals 3282 meters, 2 minutes. So you know time equals 2 meters, 2 minutes. So you gotta remember that you got to make this what? 60 seconds. Next thing says, what is centripetal acceleration of the plane? You should come down here, put AC equals question mark. Come over here. I want to always say a formula first. AC equals V squared over R. Then you go AC equals, what is your V? We don't know. Come over here. D equals what? V over T. You know D equals 2 pi R over T. Then plug in your numbers. You've got to make sure you plug in you write down the equation, plug in the numbers, and then get your answer. Radius was 3282. The time was 120. If you put this in the calculator, it should be about 171. Now, when you get ready to finish this problem, you're now going to take this, plug it into that V. That gives you 171 squared over 120. I said 60, but that's not right because it says 2 minutes, so that should be 120 seconds. Now your setup is ready. All you gotta do now is put in the calculator. Let's hit pause for a second and see what we get. Well, what the heck, let's go ahead and take it to the calculator. Here comes the calculator. See if I can find the calculator. Yada 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 yada. There it is. Drag it over. I have 171 squared. Let's go squared. There it is right there. Right. Divided by 120. I get 243. That's a strange answer. V squared is 171. 243. The radius was wrong right here, so we need to go back and erase it. The radius right here was actually what? The radius was 3,282. Go back to the calculator and let's see what we get. I get 171 squared divided by, that radius was 3282, which now tells me 8.991, which is about what I got earlier. I want to make sure you get the correct, write the number and the units. What's units for acceleration? Meters per second squared. That's number one. Number two, carved mass. You are smart enough to know that you got to write M equals 833. Speed, which is V, is 28. Radius is 105. What is the centripetal force? FC equals what? Question mark. So you got to show that. Come over here, write a formula. In looking for FC, what formula I need? FC equals what? MV squared over R. FC equals what? Plug in for M, 833. Plug in for V, 28. Divided by 105. Don't forget to square that. So all you got to do now is go to the handy dandy calculator again. Boom. What do we have? 833 times 28 squared equal, divided by, let's see what that radius was, divided by 105. Let's go back to my calculator, see where I was at. Right? Divide by what? 105, and that should give me 621,973. So my FC is 629.73, which units for force, newtons. And there it is. Number 3. An amusement park ride radius. You're reading straight from the problem, guys. Radius. If I get the highlighter, look what it says right here. Radius 2.8. 3 times revolutions 198 seconds. You know, so now if you got revolution, what is the speed? Speed is equal to what? D over T. V equals what? 2 pi r over T. How many revolutions are we making? So we have to do what? 3 times 2 pi r over T. Or you could divide the time by what? 3 for 1 revolution. We know the radius is what? 2.8, right? We know the time is 1.98, right? Let's go ahead and let's multiply that. Velocity's got to be faster. 1 revolutions in 3 seconds, 3 revolutions in a certain amount of time. We're good to go. What are we looking for? Speed. Question mark. Come over here. Plug in your numbers. V equals what? 3 times 2 pi. What's the radius? 2.8 divided by my time, which is 1.98. That answer is correct. All you gotta do now is what? Put it in handy dandy calculator. I think I'm gonna set everything up and then come back and get answers. 3 times 2 times 3.14 for pi times 2.8. 3.14 times 3.14. Get my calculator. 3.14 times, what was that radius? I can't remember. 2.8. Then I'm going to divide by 1.98. I think that's what it was. Well, the answer should have been 26. What did I do wrong? 2.28. Let's try that again. The radius was what? 2.8. So let's try that one more time. I want to check that math. Oop, I killed the calculator. So let me bring it back. Where is it going to be? Calculator. Makes sense to me. We've got 3 times 2 times 3.14 times 2.8 divided by 1.98 should be 26 point something. 26.64. My math was off because I didn't include the decimal. So this right here turns out to be 26.4. What's my units? Meters per second. On the next problems, I'm going to set them up, let you find the answer, and I just submit an answer page. Number 4. Electron moves in a circle whose radius is 2. Once again, you have radius. Radius is equal to what? 2.0 times 10 to the minus 4. Force is what? 4.60 times 10 to the minus 14. What is a velocity? Well, what formula has an F and a V in it? Fc is equal to mv squared over r. You have to solve this equation for the what? For the v. Give him some r, give this side some r. Cancel. What do you got left? Rfc equals mv squared. Switch them around. Mv squared equals Rfc. Now you take that mv squared equals Rfc divide by m, divide by m. We've got v squared equals RFC divided by m. Now, how you get rid of a square? You have to do what? You got to square root it. Square root the whole thing, right? So that tells me v equals square root of RFC m. You know v equals, what's the r? Since these are some big numbers, just leave the numbers. This should be what? 4.60 times 10 to the minus 14. That's my r. Sorry, that's my f. What was my r? My r turned out to be 2 times 10 to the minus 2. Right here. That should be a minus 2. So you can either write it like that or expand it. I know it's simply going to be, move the decimal left, so it's going to be 0.02. Done. Divided by the mass. What was the mass? 9.11 times 10 to the minus 31. 9.11 times 10 to the minus 31. Throw it in the calculator or leave it like that. Number 5. Once again, you're just reading 925 kilogram. What is that? Mass. 925. Speed. 25. Radius. 72. Force. FC. What's my formula? FC equals mv squared over r. Plug in your numbers. FC equals 925 times 25 squared. Notice that squared is outside the parentheses, divided by 27. I'll come back and get the number in just a second, but that's your setup right there. Number 6. What are you looking for? Force. What's your formula? FC is equal to what? mv squared over r. Do you have what they give us? A mass. You got a list. You don't have a list, I don't grade it. You have a what? Distance, which is your what? Radius, right? And then your speed. Don't worry about making it pretty. Just stick it in. FC equals what? Mass, 2.7 times 10 to the third. What's my V? 4.7 times 10 to the third. What are you going to do with it? You got it what? Squared. This is the third right here. This is a squared. Divided by, what's the radius? 1.8 times 10 to the 7. Done. That's your answer. Do it in the calculator later. Number 7. Okay, where's number 7? Did we lose it? There we go. A string can withstand a force. What is force? F. 135. 2 kilograms. 120. Right? So what is that? Mass is equal to what? 2 kilograms. Radius is 1.10. It's telling you what to do. What's your V? Well, just a second ago, we just solved that V is equal to the square root of, let me go take a little look, because I've already derived it once. Why do it again? It should be right here. There it is. Square root of what? RFC over M. RFC over M. RFC over M. V equals square root. What's the radius? The radius is 1.1. There we go. 1.1. Right? How much force do we have? 135. 135 divided by what? The mass. How much mass you got? 2. Since I'm here, let me go ahead and get this one. I've got 1.1. Watch my calculator. Here he comes. There he went. Ah, hell. We'll find him. Here we go. We're going to get him from over here. Calculator. What's my numbers? I got 1.1 and 135. I like to do 1.10 times 135, enter, divide by 2, enter, And then what we're going to do, take the square root of the answer. I don't see a square root on this calculator, but I know if I raise it to the 0.5 problem, then that's a square root, 8.62. Okay, so this is 8.62. What's my units? Meters per second. Alright, number 8, radius of the car. What did it give us? Mass, 932 kilograms. 932 kilograms. Speed, 2. Radius, r. Speed is 20 meters per second. The radius is, we don't know. We have a mass, and I also gave you, but this problem didn't say it. I left off that force was 1,000. So now you know you got to use Fc equals what? mv squared over r. We're going to multiply both sides by what? R. Bam, bam. Now I've got RFC equals mv squared. I'm trying to get the r by itself, so I got to divide by what? Fc. Give him some, give him some. So now you have r equals mv squared over Fc. R equals, what's my mass? 932. What's my V? 20. What are you going to do to it? Squared. Divide by what? 1,000. Let's see what the handy dandy calculator tells us. R equals where's the calculator? It's trying to be stupid. Oh, is it hiding over here? Let's see. Let's see if I can get it over here. Alrighty. Here it comes. Calculator. There we go. What's my numbers? I got 93220. 932 times 20 squared equals, take that answer and divide by, what was the radius? 1,000. Divide by 1,000. 1, 2, 3. I get 372.8. Sounds good. 372.8 what? 0 meters. Done. Going back to check my, I'm going to leave this one like that. You can get the answer. I'm going to go ahead and get this one. Since I'm here, I know he's simply going to be 25 squared times 925. 925 times 25 squared equals that number right there. Now let's go back and see. Divide by what? 27. A little big, but I'm gonna see what happens. 21,412. 21,412 dot. What's that decimal? What's that decimal? Let me see what's going on here. There we go. What's that decimal? 0.04. What's my units for force? Newtons. And there's your test corrections. Make sure you do one problem, one page. Flip it over. Study. Go over the review. Retest is on Friday. You gotta be there. Love you, bless you.